All right, another problem that we need to take a look at the vase. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start somewhere. The dimension that I'm looking at is the 55.3 right here, so that will help me. And then also we know that it's 21.7. So I'm gonna do this a little bit different this time. I'm gonna start with a rectangle. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a rectangle that is 55.3 by 21.7. So I'm going to have that. And as this endpoint, I'm going to have to go in 9 units to get the center for that little arc right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So from here, I go in 9 units. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my circle there. Voila. All right. I could also do the same thing on the right hand side. Um, if I want to. But I'm going to go ahead and stop there so I can go ahead and move on because I'm going to mirror it over. So if I am to first load my line, that will be my center. That will be my center line. And I'm going to go ahead, click OK here. I'm going to go ahead and have my little magenta line. So I'm going to go down to the center down here. I'm going to go up. How long is that? That is 160. So I'm going to go up 160, 160. Hit escape. So that is what I have. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this real quick. So it's there. It's easy for me to see. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm trying to draw this R5 right here. So I know that at the end I have a 55.3, and then if that's center, if I go down from that location, you can see the rectangle that I created earlier was only to that point, right? So what I would do is if I take this and I extend it down to that location, hit escape, that is where it is. I'm gonna go ahead and extend to see if that's gonna help me. I'm gonna extend this. I won't be able to because this is the rectangle. So I'm gonna click on it, explode. So I'm gonna make it that way. Now I can extend it this that way. All right, so now it's a little bit longer. Now, but then I also noticed that if I am to take a segment from here down there, I still have a little more to go. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in to see that this little more that I'm talking about is there, and then it's go here, and then I have that. Now, if I take a look at that, that is basically the center of this R5 right there. And it seems like it's the same because this dimension is not given. I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm going to go ahead and um, construct a 5 unit segment from here to there. And then I'm going to go up 5 unit as well. Now, at that end point, I'm going to go ahead and construct my circle that is R5. All right. So now that is done, I can go ahead and trim this real quick. And I can also trim that little thing that I just create. I don't need this anymore. I don't see why I would need it. So I'm going to get rid of that. The next thing we're going to do is going to try to have this in there. And since there's no radius there, we're going to go ahead and assume that, there's no radius. So there's no way that we're going to assume that it's an arc or a circle. So it's have to be a straight path there. So we're going to click on line, and again, I'm going to go here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, control right click, hit tangent. I'm going to do a tangent here, control right click. I'm going to do tangent again over here. So I have that little thing, and I can go ahead and trim this little thing. Then you can see how I am drawing my arc. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what I can do next. I'm going to ignore this 34.1 for a second, but then I can see that I have this 59.7 here. That is another arc, which is 16 right here. And so let's see. If I am to go from here up 59.7, right? In the drawing, 59.7. If I go that way, and then I gonna try to find the center for this radius of 16. So I'm gonna go right 16 in. That will be the center where I'm gonna go ahead and create that little arc. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and change it to here. This I'm gonna go up 59.7, and then I'm gonna go to the outside 16 in radius. That will be my center for the R16. Okay, so that is my R16. I'm gonna change it. All right, so that is that. What I'm going to do now is I have this arc right here, 124.8. So this is an arc. And so I will go to circle and I'll do TTR, tangent radius. I will see that I'm going to select out here and I'm going to select over here. The radius 124.8. All right, that seemed like it's correct. So I'm going to go ahead and change it. All right, what I'm going to do now is at this point, I'm going to go ahead and trim it. I think it would be okay to trim that now. So you guys can see things that I have. Let me see if I need to trim this. Let me trim that. Okay, and get rid of that as well. All right, so there you go. And you can see what I have. All right, I'm going to leave that right there for now. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look up here. I'm going to draw this now. I know that that right there is x160. So I'm going to take this from here to the left. I know that's 70 to that little there. So I'm going to take this there. It's going to be 35. All right. I'm going to take that 35. And what I know is that I'm going to take this. Let's change it back to bilayer. So it's white. All right. From there to here, since the radius is 5, the diameter is 10. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to offset 10 units. Take it down. Right. So now I have this bottom segment as well. Then I'm also gonna go ahead and offset. I should change this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this again. I see a better way for me to do it. Instead of making it all 30, all the way 35, I'm gonna just make it 30. Okay, and you will see what I'm doing. So this is gonna be 30. Escape, and then I'll change that to. Sorry, I'm gonna change that to that way. I'm gonna go now offset again. I'm gonna do 10 down that way. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna offset this time. I'm gonna offset this one 5 units down. All right, I'm using that as my endpoint right there. That location, I'm gonna use that to draw my radius of 5. All right, and then I can go ahead and trim this one and that. All right, so I have this little section there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and see where I can draw this 12 radius. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to go from here. I'm going to go down 12. Escape. I'm going to go ahead and draw my little 12 in radius. So you can see I have this little curve here. As in the picture, I have that little curve there. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do next will be I'm taking this. I'm going to draw this like so. Hit escape, or let me see. I see that I have from here down is 13.7. So what I can do is I'm going to go in here and then I'm going to go down 13.7. Okay, escape. So then that will give me an option of trimming out. You guys can see what I'm doing. I'm going to trim out that. So now I'm going to make that white. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we also going to have another 12. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to go in 12, escape, and that will give me the next 12. And then, of course, change this to white. All right. So I have that. And the next thing you see is also there's no dimension on here on this arc. It's not a radius of some sort. So I'm going to go ahead and click on line. And then I'll do on this outside, right click tangent on this way. And then over here, right click tangent. And I have that shape. I'm going to now hit escape. I'm going to go trim it. All right. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to change it to white by layer. So you can see my left side is there. And then this right here, I don't think we need it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it. What I'm going to do now is, let me finish this off first. I'm going to extend it this. So I got that close. And then we can also go into mirror now. Let's do that. Let's mirror again. I'm going to select this way. All right, hit enter. And then I'm going to mirror about this location. All right, click no. And voila, you guys can see that we have this. Need to change this to my center line. Let me do, so we have that. And then let's take a look at the 34.1. So I'm going to go ahead and take this line. I can do TR for tracking, and I can go up 15. I'm sorry, why do I say 15? We can do 34.1. And that's where it's going to start the point. And the angle that we're looking for, you got 120. Anything that's straight is 180. So we're going to take 180 minus 120, which is 60. So that means the right angle will be, the angle on the right is 30 and the angle on the left is 30. So this right here, we're going to put in 30 for the angle. All right. And then I can hit tab back. You can see that that's the angle. I can hit either that way and hit escape, and then I can go extend it, and I can extend it, or I can just pass the arc here and then trim it. All right, so that is done there. Hit escape, and what we're going to do, we're going to take this, change it back to by layer, and also we're going to mirror. All right, hit escape. I'm going to go ahead and do this one more time. I'm going to go ahead and mirror, select, enter that location to that location. Say no. All right, one is done. It's done. I know that it seems like it doesn't look like the picture, but if we gotta make this smaller to match the actual drawing, it look identical. All right. The next thing we're gonna do is we're going to do one thing. Let me do this. This is new. So I'm gonna take offset. Let's say I'm gonna offset 5 units. I'm going to take this offset 5 unit down. I'm going to take this offset 5 unit up. Hit escape. I'm going to take my line. I'm going to snap to that one. Oops, I don't know what I just clicked. I think I just clicked F1. Hit escape. And then I'm going to take that. Hit escape. All right, and then I can just go ahead and get rid of this. So that that's the center line that I have. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put in some dimension. So I'm going to dim style this real quick. Let's change your text. Let's say your text will be 10 because I'm looking at this. 10 might be too big, so let's do 7. And then what else we need to do? How many decimal place? We have one decimal place. So let's do that. Click OK, click close. And then this problem is done. All you have to do is just take out your dimension and change it to the color that you need. Okay. So angle 120. All right. Segment 34.1. All right. The angle, the radius here. Zoom in real quick. All right. You are currently at diameter. Hit the letter D and hit enter. I'm sorry, hit the letter R and hit enter. You change back to radius, and vice versa. If you are in diameter, you can change to radius. All right. So this problem is done. All you have to do is just take out a dimension. Enjoy.